I'm Mary Yanez, and thank you for joining us here on Mature Living. We're back on the set, which is wonderful. It feels great. We've been, of course, shooting our show and recording our show virtually. But we're glad that we can be back in the studio again with our guests. And we're doing it gradually, okay? And we'll be careful. As you know, the college is really being very careful about what we're doing in person. And so we've invited our first guest, and I think maybe when we started the Mature Living show, I think maybe we invited the Area Agency on Aging to join us. So we thought, well, since we're coming back and strong, we want to invite Yvette Lugo, who is the director of the Area Agency on Aging and is part of the Council of Governments, right?
Yes.
The Rio Grande Council of Governments. Tell us a little bit about your organization. And of course, you have some new programs. You're helping seniors to register for the COVID vaccines and the boosters. And so there's lots to talk about today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mary. It's always a pleasure to be here. Our agency's we're meant to serve. We're here to serve older adults, obviously. We've been around since 1973. And as you mentioned, thank you for that clarification, we're a division of the Rio Grande Council of Governments. So we're a department of that, under that entity or umbrella. And so our main mission is to help older adults remain in the community for as long as possible with whatever supports and services that we receive funding, it's federally funded dollars out of the Older Americans Act. So there's a very specific charge to what we're supposed to do and how we're funded to be able to provide that support. Obviously the pandemic affected us, as everyone else did, and still continuing to strive to serve and be open to providing as much assistance as possible. Presented some challenges, obviously, and required us to change some of the way we do business, if you will. But for the most part, we've obviously kept our doors open to helping and serving. We're not as present as we like to be in the community because, of course, we're trying to stay safe for older adults as well as our staff. So yes, there's some changes to programming, and one of those specifically that we were actually asked to assist with is the registration process for vaccines and or boosters. And so that's a very simple thing that if you don't have access to a computer or don't feel confident enough, if you will, to make that appointment or schedule yourself, that's something that we can gladly and happily do to support that. I think at this point, I'm very proud of El Paso County. We have a very good and high vaccination rate, which says something about our community. It's nice to know that. I think colleagues across the state of mine are still struggling because, again, area agencies on aging were specifically funded and asked to provide that kind of support to older adults. Most people who are offering this in their communities require registration by computer.
Yes.
Not everyone has access to the computer or the internet. So that's why area agencies on aging were asked to provide that assistance. So it's a very simple process. Call us and we can help.
And we'll give the phone number in a little bit.
Sure.
Because I think y'all need to memorize this number. I've got it memorized for years and years because anytime anybody calls me about issues with older adults, services, we can always call your number.
Yes.
And so there's other things that are going on. We have been hit, every organization with people being out. Mm-hmm. So being short-staffed is another issue, and we need to be very patient. But I'm glad you're helping with the vaccines and the boosters for persons 60 years and older, right? These
Yes.
are the population that you serve. If you don't have a computer, and most of us have to register by computer, they'll give you a date, right? How does that work?
We've found, at least with boosters, vaccines as well, but the booster shots are the most popular reason at this point that persons are calling us. We can schedule at the different entities. City of El Paso is offering that. There are different businesses like CVS or Walgreens, Walmart that are offering appointments. And so our staff members will do just that, work with you to say what side of town, what's your preference, because you obviously have to log in, create an account, and then that's the beauty of it, working together with the client, with the person on the phone. So we can say what would work best with your schedule, get them registered, give them a confirmation, reminder call. And I failed to mention also, if transportation is an issue, yes, we also have funding to help with that. So we can help you get to that appointment and then get back home.
That is so super because many times the issue is transportation to get to wherever you have your appointment, and you've got to be there on time.
Right.
You've got to be there on time, and you will help with that, with arranging with the City of El Paso buses. How do you do that, the transportation?
Well, our transportation, basically any of the services that we purchase are done through contracts. So we have vendor agreements with different entities that provide whatever service that we're contracting with. So in this case with transportation, many of our local transportation vendors, you've seen buses driving around the different organizations like Project Amistad, Comar Transportation, things like that, that we then have that contract to authorize the ride. They bill us, and so the client basically is only asked when and where the trip is, what time.
And the to and from.
Exactly.
That's very good.
That
is really
focused,
important for this community and for our seniors that don't drive, but they don't, their family members may be working and they're trying to, stay on top of family. And so falls, the two biggest fears that I have had for years is falling and Alzheimer's. And I was going to say, and then I forgot, and Alzheimer's. So I fell already. That is so important for us to train seniors. If they do want to get up off the floor, if they had a fall and maybe didn't hurt themselves, how can they get up safely?
Right.
How there's lots of techniques and to prevent falls. Tell me about that program. Is it back in the show again for you?
Yes. So I'm happy to announce that yes, area agencies on aging are also charged with providing they're called evidence-based programs. These are programs that have been researched and proven that if you participate and attend courses that are evidence-based, that there is proof that it works, basically. And so for many years, we had offered the program called A Matter of Balance.
Yes.
Obviously, like you said, fall prevention is key. As we age, this is something that we will have to deal with, unfortunately. But if we can prevent falls, we avoid many of the injuries and costs in healthcare that unfortunately, it happens. But if we can prevent that, it's even better, so that we continue to age well. And so we are offering again, thankfully, in person. Like I said, we had offered it for many years. The pandemic caused us to change the way we did business, and so we had to stop doing in-person classes. This particular curriculum, it's an 8-week course with a focus on fall prevention, learning how to fall, if you will. There's a class on that. If you happen to fall, then there's a good way to fall, apparently.
Is there a good way also to get back up?
Yes, and there are ways to learn how to get up. But also looking at your environment, learning cues that might say, I didn't realize that was a fall hazard in my home. Again, just focusing on even just a little strength exercise. So there's exercise incorporated into this curriculum.
Beautiful.
To help older adults just maybe get a little bit more strength, so that again you can prevent that fall. We know that falls are the leading cause of emergency room reasons people visit the emergency room, unfortunately, and that can lead to many different things.
And you don't want to go there right now with COVID and all that.
As long as we can avoid it. Again, because of that mission, we're trying to help older adults stay in their communities for as long as possible and stay healthy, stay safe.
One of the things that I'm at fault is that I don't ask for help. Wait and don't do that until you have somebody with you to help you, because we think we can do it. We're super women and super seniors.
Yes.
And we think we can do everything like we used to. It's not that way. So we need to be extra careful. And I'm glad you're bringing this up, because can we invite your instructor to come talk to us here on Mature Living and give us a little preview of what the class is about with a little more time and maybe some more details?
Sure, absolutely. And if anyone is interested, like I said, we're just starting to get back into community, creating class opportunities. We've partnered with our local public library system here in El Paso to start to be the location to host these courses.
Wonderful.
We'll start to reintroduce ourselves back into senior centers, etc. But if anyone is interested in attending the class, we're trying to create several different locations so that that is spread around the city, so that it makes it easier to get to. Of course, they're welcome to call the office so that they can register or say that they are interested in attending one of these courses. Once a class makes, then we can communicate back with you all, with you to say, this is the class location, this is the time. It's an 8-week commitment. The classes are 2 hours, but it's a wonderful curriculum that's been around for several years.
There's no charge.
No charge, absolutely. There are no charges connected to the services that the Area Agency on Aging provides. That is our job. We are funded specifically to provide these services to our community.
You're doing a great job, because I know there's other Area Agency on Agings and other. What is your area that you cover, by the way?
Yeah, we have a 6-county region that we serve. So we're headquartered here in El Paso County. But we are responsible for 6 counties just east of us, here, the far west Texas part of Texas, if you will. So I'm one of 28 area agencies on aging located here in our state. Far-reaching as Brewster County, Presidio County. If you're familiar with Alpine, Marfa, Presidio, those little towns out this way, that's all part of our service region.
Well, we have about 3 minutes left, and I'd like to make sure we get that last question that I wanted to ask you about, and that is your advisory council. Tell us a little bit about that. And are you needing some more members?
I do. Again, everything is changing with the pandemic, but area agencies on aging are all required to have advisory councils that basically serve. The majority of them are older adults or potential participants of our programming. And so that is very important to me, because I need that input to make sure that we are doing the job correctly, that we are providing the services that are most needed by our region. And so I need that advice from the experts themselves. And so yes, participating, if anyone is interested in participating and becoming a member of the advisory council, please make a call to me. I would love to have a conversation and inform you about what basically is required of that.
And how often is the council meeting these days?
We are meeting, at this point we had been meeting virtually. We're going to see about possibly meeting in person. However, we meet every other month.
Okay.
It's the 3rd Wednesday of every other month. Typically an hour and a half, 2 hours at max.
And all you need is input and participation.
Yes.
I know I serve as a liaison for the El Paso Community College Senior Adult Program, and I get a lot of great information when I go to your meetings. And you cover everything about the agency and the services and your funding and everything. So it's really good to know how to access these services. So let's give that phone number now. And we've been holding everybody patient and say, well, come on, give us the phone number. How do we call? Where do we call?
Correct. Our number is 915-533-0998.
Very good. And they can ask, there's a receptionist, and they can ask about any of the programs we've been talking about. In particular, we've been talking about the registration for COVID vaccines and boosters. We've been talking about transportation when you're going to and from, and it's provided if you don't have transportation for your vaccine or booster. We talked about the Matter of Balance program, which is fall prevention, very important. And then, of course, now seeking your advisory council members in this community. I know there's somebody out there watching that's going to call you and say, I'd like to serve in that capacity, or I'd like to, introduce myself to you. Any other thing that I may have forgotten?
No, I mean, we're trying our best, obviously, to serve, and that's our role. That's what we're called to do. Sometimes we may be a little overwhelmed when there's staff shortages or just wait lists for services, because there's so much need. There's always so much need, but not always enough funding. But we try our best to make sure we at least get you connected to the right resource.
Well, thank you for coming today, and thank your staff for the great work that they're doing.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Okay, we'll be back with more guests.
Hi, my name is Yvette Lugo. I'm the director for the Area Agency on Aging. Our mission is to try to help older adults stay as independent and in the communities for as long as possible, as well as helping to support family caregivers in their role as caring for their aging loved ones. Our agency offers a variety of services and supports that can help in a variety of situations, everything from basic information and referral to help in the home. We encourage you to please call our office at 533-0998 so that we can try to assist you with your needs. Thank you.
And thank you for staying with us here on Mature Living. We have one more interview, a little conversation. And as you know, we're an educational institution. We have continuing education, lots of different programs here at the college that can help our community. We can help families, and can you imagine that? Including grandma and grandpa with our senior adult program. But we have another program that is located at the community college at the ASCB building where we are located, and that is the program that is called Center for College Access and Development. And with us today is MariCarmen Casaventes, who's the manager of that program, to explain how they're serving the community and what is the purpose and the mission of their program. So thank you for being with us, MariCarmen. I don't think you had been with us before, had you? Or many years ago?
Years ago.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
So
I have.
things are changing right now. I know that registration is so important, but let's explain a little bit about your program first, and then we'll tell them that you're registering already.
Right. Yes, the Center for College Access and Development is the department where the college is offering the second chance, the opportunity for those adults that have interrupted their education for some reason, and now they have decided that they want to come back, they want to have a better job, and now it is very important education in order to get a better pay. So we help students that have not finished their high school with their GED program. We have the GED to college. Then we have the bridge, which is those courses where students have the opportunity, our adults have the opportunity to improve their language skills in order to transition to the college side for academic courses, either because they have decided to take a certificate, level 1, or because they want to have intensive training in health, for example, or because they want to go into the associate degree, but they are not, they don't feel ready for an academic course. So our courses doesn't really necessarily limit, like the bridge, the ESL bridge course, doesn't necessarily limit to teach the language, but we also give them college readiness skills and opportunities to explore the college opportunities.
How many programs does the college
The
offer?
college has 154 different programs.
Can you imagine?
So
the
there's
choices?
plenty to choose from, you know, and so our students learn reading strategies, note-taking, how the system of the college works, how to manage your financial aid, all these kind
Oh
of
my
things
gosh.
that probably is part of the fear that they don't dare to come close to the college because they don't feel ready. So we help them to get ready.
That is so good. And that is probably anytime, even if we go into the academic side, we come in with fear. Am I going to make it? Will I be able to learn? You know, will I pass my courses? You know, is it a waste of time? Will I, you know, just so many things. Will I have time for the classes? Because yours are all week long.
Yes.
And you're opening registration already.
Yes, right now we have open registration for the pre-bridge. The courses start pretty soon. We offer them in hybrid method because there's people that call us and say, online doesn't work for me. So we're having the hybrid method, which means that they can come to class twice a week, and then the rest, the other 2 days, they take it online.
Okay.
Okay, and then 100% online for those that work. That's also
Very
another concern that we have, that we want to offer the opportunity for those that have a job during the day, but they still want to come to improve their English skills.
Super. I mean, this program has been around for how long?
We have been around for quite some time. The thing is that we evolve according to the needs of the students.
Yes.
We used to have the transition to college. Now
Yes.
is the ESL bridge.
Okay.
Yes.
And so where are your classes held?
Oh, I'm glad you're asking that, because usually our public doesn't know that the college has the continuing education side. So they look for us in campuses, in Valle Verde or in Misión del Paso, Trans Mountain. We're located in the other side of the freeway where you go to the Valle Verde campus. We're on Viscount. So we need to tell this, to take this opportunity for your public to know that there's another side of the college that it's under the two buildings that are located at 9050 Viscount that are called Administrative Services Center. We're in Building B, where the Culinary Arts program is, your senior program, massage therapy, cosmetology, small business development center. So there's a lot of things that the college offers outside campuses that people need to know.
Very good. And so don't look for us. Don't look for us at the campuses. You're going to have to go to the Administrative Service Center.
9050 Viscount, very well located.
And the classes are held there also, right? I mean,
yes.
That's very convenient.
Yes, very
Parking is great too. I want to mention that because sometimes at Rio Grande it's an issue.
Yes.
But they have beautiful new buildings. Now,
yes.
You know, we talk the language of education in our instructors, and we say, and we talk about basic skills. Okay, what is basic skills? What does that comprise?
Well, it's actually all these skills that we all have to learn: reading, writing, math.
Yes.
Learning a skill. In math, everybody fears math. I see it with the GD students, because the way I understand it from my instructors is that math is a sequential, which means that when you are learning the math, if you have gaps, then the rest of the instruction doesn't make sense. And then
doesn't connect. Yeah,
so what we do, we find your gaps, so then you take off. Yes. So we should not fear math, really.
Yeah, and that's one of my fears too.
Yes, it was mine, but now I understand why. I had gaps that I didn't understand.
Or I had been out of school for a long time before I came back to college, you know.
I know.
So, you know, that's very, very good basic skills, and this is what, and you learn through practice, right, you say?
Yes, that's one of the big differences that we have, that our courses are intensive, which means that instead of having a class that is 50 minutes, it's an hour and a half of 2 hours. And instead of having them every other day, we have them daily.
And it's a very good boom, 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 boom.
Because you're developing a skill. Whenever you're developing a skill, you have to practice, get into it.
Yes.
It's not like the knowledge that you just, like when you're taking an update on, let's say, a license, ¿verdad? Like the brokers, the license brokers, you know, it's something that is the knowledge. So it's a different way of learning than skills. Skills, you have to keep at it. You have to practice. You have to go into on a daily basis.
Yes.
It's like cooking. It's like playing a guitar. It's like playing a sport.
Exactly.
It's exactly the way.
And you know, is there a cost to being in your program? I would imagine GED testing might be a cost.
Yes, we try to keep very low cost tuition. For example, the ESL Bridge, where they have 200 hours of instruction, is only $60.
Very good.
Because the college is investing through us to give the opportunity for people, you know, that want to come back.
Somebody's got to pay for the full program, but they only get a little bit of charge.
And then with the GED, we don't have a grant, unfortunately, so we also have a low tuition, $30. But when we have students that have taken, there are 4 subjects in the GED. When they have taken 2 courses already, the 3rd and the 4th course, we can pay for their testing. We provide a voucher thanks to funding from different
and
grants.
Do you get students that are maybe don't, you know, of course you probably get students that have little English and they want to develop that language. Do you have other students that know the English language but didn't graduate from high school and maybe want also to get into this program?
Exactly, that's what it is. That's what it is. That sometimes, you know, it's amazing because now our community, as you very well know, is a Spanish-speaking community. So there's students in high school that have their high school diploma, but they're really not fluent in English because their life is in Spanish. They're able to read, they're able to write, but not to speak it.
Yeah. And one of the things that I believe your program helps these beneficiaries, these prospective students, is that you help them to gain that confidence to go into the academic side of the house. And you start with your bridge program, and you start calling your number, which we're going to give right now, as a matter of fact, and then you will guide them through the doors.
Exactly. In fact, for example, the bridge course, you take 2 classes with us at the ASC and 2 others at the Valle Verde campus.
Wonderful.
So it's a way of getting familiar with the life of the campuses, and they get to visit different departments. So it's really a transition to college program that I highly recommend to anyone.
Very good. So can we give your phone number also, and where, we've mentioned where we are located, but give us your phone number where they can, and of course remind us about registration as well.
Yes, the phone number is 915-831-7729. Very easy process for registration. The CE has 1-page long form, and we send it to you by email, and then we start the registration process.
Yes. What's your goal? How many students per semester would you want? Like hundreds?
Of course, because statistics shows us that there's a lot of people out there that interrupted their education when they were attending school for different reasons. And so this is why the college, and our department, is really looking for different ways of serving this population, because now with the pandemic and the digital advancement that we have, there's no way of getting a good job without college credentials.
And so you also include technology in your program? A little bit of that? Or?
Sometimes, yes. For example, we use the Blackboard as a platform for the classes instead of Zoom or the other, because that's a way of having students get familiarized with one of the tools that the college uses on the academic side.
Yeah, when they're doing
so
virtual.
we give them an introduction to Blackboard. Very, very basic. Just 6 hours, but just to get in, download their homework or upload whatever the grades or whatever it is needed through Blackboard.
And
yes.
It's an orientation. Well,
it's an orientation. Yes.
I know we're all working at about 50% in the office, so there's not very many people in the offices, but definitely we're there on the phone. Yes. And call us, and so any other thing I may have missed in asking you about your program?
No, but I would love to self-invite myself because we're also working with Avance.
Okay.
And it's parenting classes. We joined forces with them. We started in September, and we're going to go for another year. So please invite us for the next time. So we have, right now, we already started. There's no enrollment right now.
Parenting classes.
But for September, please invite us in the summer so we can talk about the Avance project.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for being here, MariCarmen. Come back again.
Thank you.
And we want to invite everybody to stay with us every week here on Mature Living. We've been going 30 years, MariCarmen. We've been producing this show through the community college Senior Adult Program and EPCC TV. And so we will see you all next week, okay? We don't miss a week. We're always there for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you.